Reconstructing the nation. To a large extent, Reconstruction did provide African Americans with some political and civil rights. But the racism, the failure to ratify laws and amendments, along with economic depressions and difficulties towards African Americans, showed how Reconstruction of the Union after the Civil War was a failure.
African Americans faced violent discrimination and racism from the Ku Klux Klan. With the Klan's terrorism, the Democrats increased in power, and African Americans weren't being treated any better than when they were enslaved.
To help the newly freed slaves, the Congress established the Freedmen's Bureau, which President Johnson first vetoed.
Here you go, sir.
Thank you so much. Without the Bureau, I don't know where my family would be now.
No problem. I know the struggle, and it's about time we're giving back. It should be more than just clothes, food, and fuel. But here you go. Have a nice day. Don't forget to check out the new hospitals and schools that opened up.
Although African Americans enjoyed freedom of movement and legal marriages, their lack of property ownership made things hard for African Americans in the South. Grant's election introduced the U.S. to the Panic of 1873. More conflicts started after the political corruption and Republican quarreling.
John, I'm sorry, but since all the banks have shut down and I don't have enough money to let you keep your job, the federal government isn't helping me whatsoever.
How am I going to feed my family? My children will starve.
I'm sorry, John.
I can't even go to a new place because the railroad industry has shut down.
It's all because of you Republicans. I hope the Democrats win and fix this problem.
We need our rights. The 14th Amendment gave blacks equal rights, which made them citizens, and the 15th guaranteed them the right to vote. These amendments were hardly successful in any way. The 14th Amendment created more of a barrier between the equality of the whites and African Americans. These laws separated whites from persons of color on public transportation, in schools, parks, restaurants, theaters, and other locations. The 15th Amendment was also a failure due to things like literacy tests, poll taxes, and the white primary, which all prevented blacks from voting. The Compromise of 1876 effectively ended the Reconstruction era. During the 1876 presidential election, the Democrats nominated Samuel J. Tilden, governor of New York, and the Republicans chose Rutherford B. Hayes, the governor of Ohio.
I'm gonna vote for Tilden. I know he'll make our country better.
Well, since I believe in rights for African Americans, I'm going to vote for Hayes.
May the best candidate win.
The votes were so close. Each side thought they had won, but Hayes ended up winning. Southern Democrats' promises to protect civil and political rights were not kept, and this led to a widespread disenfranchisement of black voters.
To conclude, after the tragic Civil War ended in 1865, the South now had to build a new society not based upon slavery.
The process the federal government used to readmit the Confederacy back into the Union was known as Reconstruction, which lasted for 12 years.
Reconstruction did help now freed African Americans to get educated, have rights, and political standing. But it didn't all work out.
Unfortunately, Reconstruction was a failure.